real life military. Where is your money going and what should you do with it first? This can vary from person to person and in what stage you are in life. Where your money goes is very important. And when you're single, usually it's like partying, food, or like hobbies. Married, it's usually family and kids. The single person has the most play, I guess, with their money. You will have the most money when you are single in the military for sure. I remember for myself when I was in the barracks, that was like the time that I had like the least amount of bills. I think I had just a like a phone payment. That's it. So at that time, you will have the most like play and freedom with your money, but you definitely won't be in the right headspace. Well, most people won't. But with everything in life, like the more time that you have, the more that you will have. So single people, then married, dual military, and then married spouse working, and then the person with the least amount of money, it would be like myself and many others out there that are married with kids and a stay-at-home wife. And what I find with most of those people, they feel like they cannot invest or buy a house or do any of those things that other people are doing because of their so-called baggage, kids, wife. But it's simply just making sacrifices. Like I've talked about many times, you need to find those things in your life that you can cut out. And if they're for you and you are using that money anyways, because most people with their military paychecks, it all goes to something. Even myself, I am not immune to that, and most people aren't. This money is going to be ate up no matter what. And even if you act like it's gone anyways, and that's the best way to go about it, I believe. So you need to find those things that you are consuming or using anyways. Like the first thing I did, well, if you cut out things like bad habits like alcohol, cigarettes, tobacco, video games, eating out is huge, and everybody does that. Just overindulging, and it may not seem like a lot, even if it's 25, 50, 100 bucks a week. That adds up. It truly does, and that's how you start. And it's a mental thing that you do not have because it's not taught in schools because it's something that keeps everybody down. I mean, if you want to control people, you keep them poor, and that's military is all about keeping you dependent. So find those things and start breaking them down. Okay, I'm doing this. I spend this much money on this for those people that are married with kids. Because the last thing you want to do is start taking away from your family. And you shouldn't have to, anyways. You should be the one making the sacrifice, not sacrificing your family's like fun or taking anything from them. But if you're single, then it's all about getting yourself into check because no one's there. You don't have to take care of anybody. You're on your own. So that's when you find yourself blowing all your money because you just want to enjoy life. But you'll hit that wall like everybody does, and it's like, oh shit. You wake up one day and you got a kid slapping your face like, hey daddy. So oh shit, like life is real now, and I've wasted so much time. Like myself, I wasted a good 5 years. And then I slowly started to at least save money at the very beginning. That's all I did. So going on to what are things that you should work on first? It's like how much money are you really making? Like how much are you making compared to your peers? In the military, we all have ranks, and for people that are not in the military, you have other coworkers that have the same job title as you, making the exact same money. But are you actually making more than them, even though you have the same paycheck? In the military, you could be a E6, E5, um, a chief, an officer, whatever. But it's like you could have the same LES, the same paycheck, but the person could be making double or triple what you have. And that's the first thing that you should work on while you're in the military is, which everyone should know, is buying a house. Because that money that you're getting is going to be going into an asset that appreciates. And for those single people that or single people, yeah, single people without kids and not married, you don't have to buy a house. There's no reason for it. You can once you're ready, but you should be finding people that you can rely on and just rent. Like the best thing that you could do is have like four people getting like the cheapest place, even in like a 2 bedroom and like couch surfing. Like if that's you could try to get the most amount of money that you can while you're single renting and just save it up until you can get your own place. And then once you get your own place, get like a 3 bedroom and then rent it out to two other people, and that could be paying your whole like mortgage right there. And that is the biggest, most valuable tool that we have. And people over like they're just like, oh yeah, yeah, of course, buy a house, buy a house. Oh, it's impossible. Just like everything else, everything's impossible to these people because they're never going to get better. Like they're always going to say they can't do it, and that it's overshooting. And even when I got my place, like it cost more than BH had, but I had to get in there. I had to get my first house, and I'm going to work on my second ones. Like that's what I'm doing right now. Like everything should be one step at a time. What's the next step? What's the next step? So start stacking money. If you don't know anything about the second thing, which is investments, and investments don't have to be stocks, gold, crypto, none of that. You could invest in yourself. Find something that you like that could actually make more money and invest into that. Like if you like cutting grass, get equipment, cut other people's grass. If you, it doesn't matter what it is. Like invest in yourself, and that could be in the form of education, which going to school or learning a trade or a second job. Like that's that's what it's about. Like you should be working towards that. But going back to a house, so houses appreciate over time. So if you buy a house at $100,000, then the average appreciation right now is 4.3%. So if you that's been the last 30 years. Over the last 30 years, houses have gone up at least 4%. So you want to keep that house because it's going to go up in value, and you're also going to pay into it. That's why I say that you're making double. Because if you and another person of the same rank and you both are going to be age, but they're living in base housing and not getting any of that, then you are basically making double of what they're making. And if you start that at 5 years in, then by 10 years, you have that house basically half paid off, plus the appreciation. It's crazy. And that compounding wealth, it will just keep on working and working and working. And then once you get the house, then Uncle Sam's paying for it. So that's it. Just getting the house initially is it. And then even right now with the rates where they're at, I think like 7, 8, 10%, wherever they're at, I think they're at like 7. Um, you can refinance when the rates go down eventually. I've done it twice myself. And that's another perk that the military has, because my neighbors, when I was refinancing, they refinanced one time and they couldn't do it a second time because it cost them $40,000 to refinance when it cost me nothing. Like, like that tool itself is huge. So that's half of your paycheck, basically. BH is half of your paycheck. The other half of your paycheck, as long as you are a person who can manage your money, like I pay this off. If you put things on credit cards, it's mind blowing. I've only been doing it for about 9 months now, but these sign on bonuses to these credit cards, which I will go over in another video of which ones to get and the perks that they have. I've paid for 3 vacations totally free just from points, just by having a credit card. I get a credit card and I have a minimum spending, and the minimum spending is what I'm spending on regular things like gas, food, things for my kids, things for myself, like normal like expenses I have. I just put on the credit card. I swipe the credit card, I go to my bank and then pay it off immediately. That's it. So just managing that, you get all these points, and those points get converted into either flights or hotels, and that's free money right there. 3 vacations paid for just like that. I most likely will never have to pay for a vacation ever again while I'm in the military. And that's the rest of your spending. So basically all of my like purchases either go to my house or through a credit card that give me points for vacation. And in the military, we all have to go on, well, we don't have we go on vacation, and basically I don't have to pay for that anymore. As long as as long as I can manage a checkbook, basically what our grandparents did many years ago, like you get that for free. So with just those two things, with houses and military credit cards, look into it. Just like everything else, if you're not doing it, it's a scam. And you haven't heard it before, then it's a scam. Then cool, don't do it. Stay poor. It's free money. Houses basically for the military are free, zero down payment. Like you don't have to go out and buy a house, but you should at least go to a bank and apply for a loan. You don't have to use it. Just see the process, see what it actually takes, see how much money that it actually takes. Because right now, houses are ridiculous. They are. I won't lie about that. But you should at least know what the process is, so then you can start working towards saving money for when the time gets right, when the interest rates go down, then you are ready to make that jump. Because if you're going to spend 20 years in in the military, you need to at least have one house, at least. Like at the end, like if you get it by your 10-year mark, you have one house by 10 years, you will have at least 100 to $300,000. And that's crazy, of money that you will never have if you just stay in base housing all the time. And just like in my last video, it's what do you actually know about where your time is going? What does it mean to you, and what are you actually getting out of it? Because it doesn't take much to be good in the military. It doesn't. Just be reliable, be a good guy, get your job done. But you need to focus on, like, finances are huge. 80% of marriages fail because of financial issues. So if you think it's, oh, you just care about money, that's all you care about is money. It's like, if you want to be with your kids and not have your wife take 50% of what you own and lose half of your retirement, imagine that. You imagine this, because it happens to so many people. You go through the military, you have zero assets, you stayed in base housing, you did really well in your career, and you made the top rank. You're an E9. Your retirement's going to be great. And guess what? After you retire, you're like, oh shit, I have nothing but this retirement that everybody else gets 3 grand, but I worked really hard, so I get 4 grand. It's like, whoa. But guess what? You have zero assets. You have to go back and work behind that barbed wire fence in the military, doing basically the exact same job that you fucking hate now. And your wife divorces you because now you're broke, because you went from making 120,000 a year in the military, then you retire and now you only get 50,000 a year. So you have to go back and work at that job that you hate. And your wife's like, wait a second, we're still doing this bullshit. I'm out. She takes half. So that $4,000 you were getting, now you're only getting 2 grand. Congratulations. You played yourself. So know where your money's going now. Like, prepare. And you can still be good at your job and be financially savvy. Look into this shit. Know where your money's going. Make it go into something that actually matters. It is that simple. It just breaks my heart that some of you guys will go through your whole career and think that you're doing so much more than you're actually doing, and then you get out with nothing. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. Educate yourself. I'm a fucking moron with most things, but one thing that I will never be is fucking broke again. Like, I grew up broke. I don't want to do that shit. When I get out of the military, when I retire, I will be fucking set. Like, and it's not that hard. It's very simple. You just have to know what the fuck you're doing and seek out other people that know what they're doing. Don't hide from it. Like, the biggest taboo that we have is don't talk about finances. Don't talk about religion. Don't talk about politics. All of those things are like sayings for a reason. It's to keep you as a fucking sheep. Just follow the herd. And then guess what? Get in line because you fucked. Because you're fucked. Follow the assembly line. Sorry, but it just sucks. It just sucks. I wish I knew this when I first joined. I wasted good 5-6 years, but I'm starting to be on the right track now, and hopefully everyone will be.